So here is a brief overview of the Philips 4300 coffee and latte maker. I'm going to try to cover a few things that they really just did not bring out in the paperwork or anywhere else that I could find online. So first, let's power it on. First thing it does, it heats up, and for right now you do not want any cup under here because it's actually going to purge water out. It always does a rinse every time you turn it on. Normally it runs pretty quick, and while that's warming up, I'm going to point out a couple of other things. This whole section down here, it pulls out so you can drain this area, but it also pulls out in back of there is where all the grounds end up, and also rejected coffee, which I'll talk about later. Up top here, here's where the beans go. You just pull this up and you can enter your whole beans. This hatch right here is actually for ground coffee if you don't want to use beans. There we can see it's doing its rinse right now. It doesn't push out much and it's pretty quick. Now, a note on the ground coffee. This is the measure they give you. You need to use this measure, because if you put more than this amount in there, it rejects it and it will not brew. When you use ground coffee, you cannot adjust how much coffee is used. You just one scoop, that's it. It only does single cups. So now we're loaded. The first thing you notice right here shows up in blue. That's where you change your profile. There's two by default, blue and green. If you hit it a third time, it turns off profiles. That's if you're going to do like a one-off drink that you don't want your settings saved. Settings brings you to where you can adjust your hard water. It also has your standby time, stuff like that. But if you go down furthest, the measuring unit, because by default it's not on ounces, so some people might want to swap that. Now, if we go into each individual drink, just say coffee for instance, you'll see it automatically pops up there. To get the ground coffee, you actually have to go all the way to the bottom, and then it automatically switches. You can adjust the amount of coffee it's going to brew, that's the water. And then the final one is you can double whatever these are. And most of them have something similar to this. If you go into cappuccino, this one you can double it, but it also adjusts, I'm sorry, you can't double it in this one, but this adjusts how much of the milk gets frothed out. Now, another thing that they didn't really bring out, they just mainly spoke about the coffee drinks, but if you go to more options, you get other beverages here, and this is where you can do your hot water if you want to do tea or something like that, or you can also do just throw off the milk up, and that's great if you want to do hot chocolate or something like that. Now, in each individual drink again, you can hit settings once more, and it brings out, it gives it more detailed so you know what it's talking about. That's if you hit the settings button again. Anytime you want to go back, you just hit the back button. The milk, it goes on pretty easy. There's the actual steamer. You have to go in from the top and then push down. Don't push down too hard, but that's how you do it. You have to go up and then down. That's how it'll clock in there. So let's actually make a cup here. Now, you will notice this is not a quiet coffee maker. Once we get this going, let's just make a cappuccino. So we see here, got a lot of coffee. If we go over, we can adjust how much of the water is going to go through that coffee. Then we can adjust how much milk is going to be used. And you want to look out, because if you don't have enough milk in there, it will kick an error. So I'm just going to tone that down a bit, and we'll kick it off. Now, since I had it on a profile, it saved it to the blue profile. Those adjustments I just made. And it varies what you do on here. Sometimes it'll do the milk first. Like in this case, that's what it's doing. Sometimes it does the coffee first. It varies from one to the other. So this time it's going to do the milk. And there we go, we're all done. Now I'll point out a couple other things here. First of all, right here is your water tank. And it's not that big. We were using a Insta coffee maker before, the one from Instapot. The water reservoir was much larger. But this one does have the water filter built into it to help get the best results. I also don't really like this plastic. It feels like that very porous plastic. Really would have preferred if it was more like the glass plastic. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we can pull this out. You can see all the rinse waters in there, and that's where all your coffee grounds go. All that's dishwasher safe. Well, that's the brief overview of this machine. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them on the review.
So here's my new Philips 4400 coffee maker. The water tank is on the side. It pulls out. The height of it is good because it actually fits with our KitchenAid refrigerator water dispenser. It's got the coffee beans go up here. It's got a grinder. You can adjust the grind setting one at a time while it's grinding. One level at a time, otherwise you could hurt the blade, the ceramic blades. And then we haven't seen this in the instructions, but it looks like you could actually put some ground coffee directly into this hopper, we believe. But I think you would have to not have the beans there, or maybe there's a setting that you can do it with the beans. I'm not sure about that. The grind is pretty quiet. I'll show you in a minute. When you turn it on, the first thing it asks for is the Aqua Clean. We use filtered water, so I just skip that. And then this is where the water dispenser is. You can just do hot water. You can do espresso, coffee, Americano, iced coffee, cappuccino, latte, and other drinks. Now the thing is, with espresso, you can do a double espresso. It comes out of each side. But if you were trying to do 2 cappuccinos at once, I don't think that's a feasible thing. This is the container for the milk, and it actually just hooks right over the water dispenser. So it will save the different types of coffee that you make in different profiles. So this is my blue profile. I'm gonna do a cappuccino, and I'm gonna just show you. You could go to the right, change how many ounces, up to 2.7 ounces, change the amount of foam, and then it's really easy. You just hit this button, and it grinds the coffee now, the coffee beans. It's actually relatively quiet, quieter than I thought it would be. First, it's gonna dispense the steamed milk. That'll take a minute to do. And let's see. There it goes. And that was soy milk that I used. It foamed pretty well. And then it's going to dispense the coffee. Now we've noticed that it generally does that at a darker level, and then it looks kind of like watery later. But the cup of coffee actually turns out good. So we'll play with this and see over time. But so far we've been very happy with this. How it goes. It's just kind of watery at that point. But the coffee does not taste watery. It tastes good.
Aquí les voy a enseñar cómo hacer un cafecito expreso. Bueno, lo primero es el café. Yo estoy usando este café que es de Costco, ¿ok? Pero lo importante es que sea dark. Pueden ver aquí, este de Costco es bastante dark, pero también probé con este otro, ¿ya? Los dos saben bien. También probé con este que pensé que iba a estar mejor, pero que va. Me gustó mucho el de Costco. Entonces, nada, ahora les voy a enseñar cómo configurar la cafetera. Bueno, esta es la Philly 4200. Entonces lo que yo hago es que voy a café expreso, pongo el máximo. Si ven, ya esta flechita no enciende porque está en el máximo. Entonces en el agua pongo el mínimo de agua y voy a preparar, en este caso voy a hacer dos, y después lo que hago es que hago uno más. Entonces vamos a ver la cantidad. Y para mí queda la taza como en la mitad. Es decir, yo lo que hago es que ahora preparo una vez más, uno solo. Voy a expreso, lo dejo en la misma máximo. Aquí en el mínimo lo dejo en 30. Este lo dejo en 1 ahora. Y listo. Vamos a ver. A mí es así como me gusta. Miren que pinta todo. El café queda bastante bien. Ok, bueno.
I'm going to be doing a review of the Philips 4300 with the cafe, the LatteGo edition. I love this thing. I've probably brewed about 50 cups so far, and there's nothing I don't like about it. It has its own canister for water. It has the aqua filter, and then you got your bean hopper in here, and you add if you have your pre-ground beans, go in here. All your presets that you can have, and then for different user profiles, you can switch different users, and then you can go in and pick more drinks other than the top row that actually is already easy to press. You can get into it even further. You have more options than the Philips 32, and then it actually gives you, the Philips 32 does not give you a milk froth option, only this one does. And so far, I love everything about it. If anything does come up that I don't enjoy, I will be sure to make a comment on it, and I will edit this review as needed. But so far, in love with it. Glad I made the purchase.
No, don't work. Come on, boy.
Se jodió.
I'm very pleased with this Philips 4300 espresso machine with LatteGo, and here's why. The machine came well packaged with an easy setup. I liked how simple it was to make a cappuccino with coffee beans and milk. The frother is attached and works great. The coffee beans are ground and poured based on my pre-selected setting. The cappuccino was perfect and delicious. I like how easy the machine was to clean and that it automatically rinsed before every serving. It also stores 2 profile settings to have the perfect drink precisely the way I like it. Overall, this machine exceeds my expectations and I highly recommend it. Therefore, I rate this product 5 out of 5 stars.
This is attempting to make a cappuccino with the cold coffee. Fairly loud. The coffee goes in here.
Let the games begin. We got the coffee machine, try to assemble, find out that this piece is missing. We couldn't find anywhere in the box. Everything checked, so it's missing. That's the reason we are returning this.